wanna get high, man?
Let's stimulate your mind.
Get up, junkie!
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rogin Kim.
All right, let's go ahead and let me check your. I'm recording now.
Levels. Okay.
Levels. Yeah, go for it. Just speak in your normal voice, Ben.
West Coast shit.
I think Pauly, he does Vegas. He's not doing LA clubs really because nobody wants to see him here. He's not a show business guy anymore.
West Coast shit.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Levels are good.
Levels are okay.
Levels are great. I think also Pauly Shore. You know, that's just. It's an acquired taste, I guess. It's a well, you know what it is? It's a lot of 90s nostalgia, I feel like, operating, behind the wheeze and all that.
Right.
Wait, but let me... So, hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rogin Kim cast. It's me, Rogin Kim. Joining me today is comedian Ben Herwitz. Ben is... we're here. It's downtown L.A., I think we're in the middle of some kind of car commercial. I think we're sitting in the set. Oh, yeah, on set. We're sitting. There's PAs everywhere, hoping we don't ruin the shot. But fuck it, we're doing it. This is what we do.
I didn't know that you were a director.
You
studied directing or
I did
producing?
study it. I did direct some.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think... Have I professionally? Not really. I mean, I've been hired to direct, like, fucking stupid videos and shit. But nothing like... But yeah, I learned directing.
Like music videos?
Did I ever direct No, I never directed a music video. It was more like product video or like little comedy sketches for businesses for their like fucking products and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've done a bunch of shorts and sketches, like comedy shorts, I guess, like shit like that.
Yeah.
Did that for a while until I went broke. Basically, that's actually one of the reasons.
Expensive to fund directing.
Yes.
That's why you started comedy.
One of the reasons is because I was fucking broke, and I was like, it cost me so much to, essentially what all I was doing is testing out premises.
Right.
They were just like 2-3 page scripts, you know what I mean? They were sketches that were just jokes.
Thousands of dollars to test out a premise.
I mean, at least, yeah, just because I was maxing out my credit card. Maxing out my credit card. So I was just using all that. I was actually paying people like a dumbass. I don't know why. Nobody pays anybody. I was fucking... No, well, because I worked in fucking production, so I know that people work hard, man, making the shit. So I wanted to pay people. And then the shit wasn't sustainable, it was just, I had no real plan in terms of like how to make money. It was just like, I'm just going to spend a bunch of money making comedy videos, and then that was it. That was all that's all I had,
I'm doing that, just doing stand-up.
Right. Yes, that's where I'm at now.
Spending a ton of money.
8 years in, I've blown a lot of money. I've gone to festival. I remember the early days going to festivals.
Any festival.
Oh, blew so much money. Thousands on festivals, traveling. Flights, fucking all that shit, and money I don't really have, so it's all the same, in the end. It's all right. Like, I mean, I've been operating on borrowed money for most of my life. I feel like my whole life is essentially a giant loan. So I don't, whatever. It's all the same to me. Anyways, here's Ben. Ben Herwitz.
So what's the goal with the podcast?
This one?
Yeah.
The goal.
Or what do you like? Do you talk to comics usually?
I do talk to comics. I'm starting to think about. I want to talk to comics, and I want to start talking to mental health professionals. Because I think that would be actually really
you want to make it like a mental health podcast?
Not necessarily, because I'm just super interested in a lot of different things, but I would love to hear what they would have to say about certain things, because I think it's just there's absolutely no connection with people in mental health in our society, aside from like, here, I have money to go to a therapist, and then now you get it. But aside from that, that's it. There's like no...
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing.
Well, anybody who gets into entertainment in any capacity is insane.
Of course. You have to be. The delusion of wanting to entertain. So I think one of the reasons I'm attracted to interviewing comedians is they are insane in some way, right? I mean, there's something about them. And I don't... it's not like every open micer is an awesome guest or anything. It's just, it's like interesting people. I like interesting people.
Most open micers are bad guests.
Most open micers are bad people. I would I'll go as far as to say that. But I like, for me, honestly, most of this podcast is me just ranting for like 20 minutes. Like an insane person to
Do you do it by yourself up front?
Yeah, no, I usually that's
Sorry, I
all it
probably
is.
should've listened to the podcast.
Usually, most of my episodes is just
By
like
yourself.
it's just me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like a crazy man,
Like Bill Burr's podcast.
kind of
They're
like Bill
good
Burr,
podcasts
but
like that.
not as long.
Tim
Nowhere near
Dillon's
as
got a good
long.
one.
Yeah, Tim Dillon
like
kind of
that.
does that, but he
Yeah.
has somebody else.
Usually,
somebody
but
on the
it's mostly him
sideline. But
talking.
yeah, it's somebody there just kind of chiming in, kind of like a Robyn to a Howard Stern or whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
sure.
But,
yeah, Robyn. I think Robyn's on a lot of pills. I think she
I would
has
be.
been for a long
Wouldn't you?
time.
Yeah.
She doesn't say anything.
Right, wouldn't you be?
He goes on a rant and she goes, yeah.
cha-ching.
Yeah.
I
Then
mean,
she
she's
says
a-
something completely wrong and they just keep talking.
There's like, so anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she just takes a check. She's like,
Yep.
you know, and hey, God bless her. What do you want? You
She's
know, I mean, hey,
making a
she's-
killing.
How many of us
doing
would
almost
trade?
nothing.
Yeah, we would trade.
Oh, I would do
anything.
that in a second.
Yeah, climb over our mothers. We'd be like,
That was
yeah,
Artie Lange said that was the best thing he ever did, and he was half asleep the whole time on that podcast.
Stern?
Sorry, on the radio show. Yeah, when he was on Stern.
And he was just getting checks, right? He was just getting
Huge
paid.
show. Well, he thought that was the most. He thought the show was great. He was glad that he was involved with it, and he literally fell asleep on air multiple times.
Just like nodding
Yeah.
on heroin, basically.
Yes.
Just and getting paid for it.
Oh,
like
making
basically
millions of dollars.
Getting rewarded for his behavior.
He would go do shows in Vegas and get $200,000 for a weekend
Oh.
because of Stern.
Right, because of the
And
exposure,
again,
because of
he's
the.
doing coke to wake up for the shows.
Well, now his nose is gone.
Yeah, I know.
now.
He's a mess.
How much money will it take to get his nose back? I wonder.
The thing is, he could probably afford a reconstructive surgery. Why doesn't he do that?
You think he can? I mean, that seems like a hefty. A guy who blew
like
up
he's
most
got-
of his money on
Maybe-
heroin.
Did he blow all of his money?
Wouldn't you if you were? If I was a
I-
heroin addict, look, if I
I
was a
think he had
highly
enough money
functioning-
to keep making money.
Yeah, you think so?
Well, first of all, he has an audience. He's selling tickets.
I feel like that just keeps his nut afloat. You know, that's just to make his nut. Like that's just.
But there
you
are
know what I
like
mean?
road comics who do heroin. This guy's a big name.
Sure. Hey,
I
yeah,
bet
no,
he's
you're
got
right.
some money.
You're right. I mean, there are cops that do heroin, like highly functioning
Exactly.
cops that
And they don't make nearly as much as Artie Lange
Right.
does.
I know for a fact that that is true. However, I think Artie also does. Isn't he also like a coke? Isn't it a coke heroin thing? I don't really
Who
know.
knows what
Who
he's
the
doing
fuck
with his
knows?
money?
Who knows?
But obviously it's gone, or else he'd have a new nose.
That's what I'm saying. I just
Yeah.
feel like the man doesn't seem like a guy who's like, yeah, I got all the money in the world from all that money I made.
Yes.
Making six figures for a stand-up fucking appearance. You know, that's pretty sweet.
I think he was doing that a lot.
How many of us could live? I could live 2 years off that. I bet if you
Oh,
gave me.
more.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just being generous. You know, I'm
Yeah.
just saying I'd probably act a fool. I'd probably blow 10.
Yeah, you'd blow
10,
some.
20 grand.
I'd
you
say
know?
3 or 4 years.
If you're smart, yeah, you could
If you
totally
have
stretch
other- if you
100
have other
grand.
income?
100 grand. Yeah, if you could stretch that, but
Any
I'm just,
amount of other income.
yes.
You work at Denny's for the
Right.
next, I don't know, for 6
No,
months.
that's true. I
definitely.
probably
You'd
last
make
year.
some money.
Yeah, there was a year I made like under like 12 grand or something. And I've made like definitely
and if
under
you
15
have some
grand
leftover
before.
money,
Yeah.
you can still live.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess then
So
it's
health
got to
per-
be going to H. Yeah, it's got to be going to heroin.
I
man.
guess,
It's gotta be.
or gambling. He gambles too.
Oh, there you go. Gambling, any addiction.
Sports gambling.
I feel like any addiction, it's just a bottomless well. See, the sound guys. See, I knew it.
Yeah,
See
yeah,
that
yeah.
dude, the sound guy right there. Crew. So we're in the middle. We're hanging out in the middle of this fucking set. It was hilarious. Fuck it. They don't give a fuck.
It's quiet.
Yeah, they don't give a. We're not ruining anything. But anyways, Ben.
So health professionals, comics.
In terms of guests, yeah,
Yeah.
people I would find interesting. Yeah,
Okay.
those are some people I find interesting. Yeah. There's no real underlying premise. Probably
Okay.
one of the tough things about marketing the show is
Always.
is that- yeah, but essentially it's just me. It's just me, you know, and I figure I'm just gonna keep doing that until whatever.
The best podcasts don't really have a premise, but they have a big name attached usually.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That also shows me that it really doesn't matter in the end.
No.
Because everybody's like, you gotta have a hook or a premise or a thing or that, and you're just like, no. If you're just famous and you do decent,
Yeah, no. What you have
you'll
to
get
do
a-
is be famous.
yeah. If you're
That's it.
famous and decent, or if you get on Rogan, you know, if you get a little bumski from somebody who's
Yes,
famous,
that helps.
then there you go. You could get, you know,
Howard Stern.
anything. Because like think about, you know, guys like Jordan Peterson or guys like, you know, just these nobodies on the internet who just get these bumps, right? And
Yep.
fucking next thing you know, they make that's their career now. That's what they do, you know. But
I just watched the Milo Stephanopolous Legion of Skanks.
Oh, hilarious! What was that?
It
Did you
was
think it was
pretty
funny?
amazing.
It's fucking, wasn't it funny?
It was great.
When he called them out for being like
For being
bitches on
cocks
Rogan. Yeah.
on Rogan. It's fucking hilarious.
And then he called ICE on his landlord.
He literally
Like-
got a woman deported on the podcast.
Did she really get deported? I wonder.
I mean, who
don't-
knows what he said off air?
No, I think it like all of it is. So
For
much
show.
of him, yeah, dude. So much of him, he's like, you can't believe everything. But I think what's undeniable to me is that he is funny. Like,
He's-
depending on
He's funny. He's a character. He knows how to promote himself.
I think that's what pisses off the
And he's smart.
the left wing media or whoever the fuck, the people
Yeah.
who hate him. I think that's what really pisses him off is that he's actually funny, that he makes
Right.
people laugh. So if you invite him in the studio, and you go after him, he'll make a joke and the crew starts laughing and
Yes.
it's fucking infuriate, right? It makes him it fucking
he's
infuriates
charming.
you.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, and he's
not
gay. He's like a gay dude.
He's
Yeah,
having sex with a black guy. He's married
you
to a
can't
black
come
guy.
after. Yeah, once you start coming after him,
Doesn't work.
It starts unraveling,
Yes.
and that infuriates people.
Yes.
People fucking hate that.
Well, all that he's doing wrong is saying all of the wrong things.
Yeah,
But that's how he has an audience.
right. But there's literally nothing. There's nothing actually wrong with that.
He's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You
And
can say
First
whatever the fuck
Amendment,
you want.
say
You can say whatever the fuck you want. And honestly, he's not. If you really listen to him, it's not. It's kind of like middle of the
joking.
road conservative.
It's not a big
though.
deal.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't call it far right rhetoric. I would call it like
Well,
Republican.
none of it's rhetoric. Most of it's satire.
But even if you were to just get down to what does the guy
What's
seem to
actually being
actually
said?
believe, he's a fucking Republican, dude. He believes in
guess.
marriage. He believes
Yeah.
in the Catholic Church. He believes
Most of what he
he's saying,
defends, he's a smart guy. It's mostly pretty reasonable.
yeah, I mean, so I don't see, he just uses he just says things like feminism is cancer, and then pisses off.
He said that he wanted to get fucked as a 13-year-old by a priest.
But you need to walk that back. Did you know that so I actually listened to a Jordan Peterson podcast with him and Milo, and Jordan Peterson actually cornered him on it. And
Oh,
was
really?
Like, yeah, he did, because he was getting down to it was very interesting because he's a psychologist, so he was like, I understand where you were coming from because you were basically saying I wasn't a victim, but can you understand the fact that that kid was 13 or 14 or however the 15 or however the fuck can you see now as an adult that those are the opinions of a teenager who was victimized? Can you see it? And he's like, well, he actually said, now that I have a stepson who's 16 who's older than I was when I fucked the dude, and yeah, I can totally see how it's wrong.
He's
you
a
know what I'm
reasonable
saying?
guy.
Yeah.
He's a reasonable guy.
Nobody, of course,
Who's just fucking around.
Nobody, of course, pays attention to that part.
Right.
Everybody says, actually, everybody just calls him a straight pedophile.
Well, the fact of the matter is that most people don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah, no, that's just
He's-
that they hate him.
He's internet famous, but he's not famous.
Well, what I think is
Does
fascinating
your mom
is
know who he is?
nobody knows.
Of course not.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting is the people who do say they know, and this isn't just with him. It's actually with
No, they're
almost
just outraged
Yeah.
lunatics.
But it's just about with any topic
20-year-old Jewish girls who write for Jezebel. That's who hates this guy.
or people who read that.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Because
who
it-
are other 20-year-old Jewish girls?
Or inside, at least.
Yeah.
Deep down inside. At
Yeah.
heart. Because what I feel like they're doing is they're actually repeating the same shit they hear from so people who are like,
I'm a Jew, by the way.
good for
So-
you.
So no, I'm
Good
allowed
for
to
you.
whatever.
Oh. Did
Yeah.
you think I was?
No,
or are you
I
just
don't
telling
know.
the
Yeah,
internet?
yeah,
Okay,
whoever
internet.
listens.
Ben Herwitz is a Jew.
Yeah.
Right? He's proudly proclaimed. He believes in the right.
I don't want
of-
people to think I'm anti. You can't call me anti-Semite if I'm a
Right.
Jew.
Well, he believes in the right of Israel to exist.
And I hate American Jews who have a liberal arts education.
Right, and who criticize Israel for their treatment of the so-called Palestinians. So let's just get that.
Yeah,
out
that's
there.
good, that's good.
Let's get okay. Good.
And
clear.
I hope they all fuck their rabbis.
The Jews or
Yeah,
the
young
Palestinians?
Jews.
Oh, young Jews. Oh, good. The sweetest taboo. That's really. Well, you know about the Moyles who suck the baby dicks and shit,
Of
right?
course,
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't?
That's how you lose
yeah,
your
so-
foreskin.
Delicious. I think there's nothing better. I bet. Can you imagine? Yeah, like the Moyles who are
Jesus,
just like
what a weird job.
just like just
That's
another
like-
day, just
yeah,
sucking the
just
blood
gotta
out
suck
of
another
dicks
baby
for
dick.
God, for the Lord,
Yeah.
for God. Anyways, I was saying the people who seem to have these strong opinions about like Milo or like I'll just Mueller report or fucking Russia or some shit. They have like every time I see them argue, they're actually just repeating stuff I've seen in these news articles, but they're kind of using that as their own arguments, like as if they actually believe
They're
that.
regurgitating something that they think
they have no idea.
they're supposed to say.
But they have no idea.
Right.
That's the weird thing is that,
Right.
and then as soon as you try to point that out, then you become, the conspiracy theory, whatever the opposite of that, whatever that is, you become the enemy. Like it's really crazy. It's really interesting how
most
people
people's
are fucking
quote unquote
acting.
opinions, political opinions.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
just opinions.
No, it's
Oh,
they're
you
not
mean just
even their
regurgitating? You
opinions.
mean not that? Yeah, they're parroting.
Whatever they think they're saying, whatever they think they're supposed to say.
Yeah, and including whatever I say. You know what I'm saying? Like I obviously heard
Oh.
shit from other people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like
apolitical because I don't know.
right.
You know what I mean? I'm
Right,
not
right,
going
right,
to just
right,
repeat something someone else said with any sort of
No, I'm just
urgency.
saying that's how we learn. That's how we all
Oh, no,
learn stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
Like,
that's how you learn. But it'd
I
be
don't-
nice to form somewhat of a unique perspective, and no one really does.
Well, because you're immediately strung up and hanged. You're like,
Yeah,
you're gonna be hung from a tree. That's why.
Well, and nobody
Not
wants to
allowed.
say the wrong thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because of
In general.
Well, and I feel like that's. I don't know, dude. I feel like that's. Do you think that's gonna change? Do you think that's like? Do you think that's?
I think
just
it's
here to stay.
getting worse.
Do you think it's getting worse?
With Trump,
I mean, listen.
outrage culture doesn't help, obviously.
Yeah, but don't you? I completely feel like this outrage culture thing. It's just a moneymaker, dude. Like
Yes.
it's just a huge moneymaker
That's what
for
Milo
people.
said on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's because nobody cares about the news until Trump came along. You know what I mean? Like the news was basically
They got him elected to stir the pot.
and now that's all they talk about.
Yeah.
Because that's what sells. It's like if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah, exactly. CNN loves it. Fox loves it.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
loves
So
it.
I don't understand. You know. So what I am,
NPR loves it.
So to me, I feel like
Stephen Colbert wouldn't have a job without it.
nobody would.
Yeah.
Like, imagine all those people. They're all making money off this shit. So I think the
Exactly.
last thing they want is for this. You know. This is hilarious. The last thing they would want, you know, is to lose that gravy train. You know, that sweet gravy train. Now there's Grip and Electric coming. They're lighting it up. They're like, and we're here. We're gonna act like producers.
I keep
We're
on thinking someone's gonna walk up to us.
No, we're producers, bro.
No
We're
one has
just
booted us.
We're
Well, you're wearing the director hat. You can blend in.
Yeah. No, I'm like, excuse me.
I'm just testing some sound stuff.
All right. I need to talk to whoever's in charge here. I have largely. I get into this stuff not because I actually don't have a dog in any
Neither do
fight,
I.
but
It's interesting.
I do like pissing off certain people when I don't know, just for fun.
Well, honestly,
Like,
my
sometimes it's
dog,
fun.
my dog in the fight would be the opposite of what's happening now. I'd prefer it if we didn't have an alarmist president who just earns money from
Right.
media conglomerates.
Sure.
That would be nice.
Right.
If we had like a president who just wanted to be the president as opposed to wanting to be famous or
Well,
something.
I agree
But
with
I don't
that.
even know if is there a situation where that is the case? Probably not.
Well, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a president? So right now we got a president that's basically just like ripped the mask off and
Yeah.
is like, I'm a reptile person and we're fucking evil and I don't give a fuck.
Jeffrey Epstein's
right?
a great
Like,
guy.
whatever. Like, okay, so we got that. But would you rather have that or somebody who's got the mask on and is like, I'm a proper person?
I guess. Well, here's the thing. I
and
guess they always
meanwhile-
have had the mask on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's more reassuring to a dumb American like me.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'd rather be kind of like safe, calmed, and
It'd be nice to feel like we actually had a president.
right. But do you see now that
No.
it was an illusion, or
Well,
do
the
you
thing
feel
is,
that it was?
We can't prove that it was.
Uh-huh.
It probably is.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was.
Like, what you think Obama's running around fucking kids or something?
No, not in that sense, but in the sense that to think that Obama was anything but a caretaker for the state, you know, in terms of
It's a bad system.
the banks and the
I get
military
that.
industrial guy. That's who he was. He
Yeah.
wasn't some revolutionary coming
he
in.
sounded good, and he's the charming guy.
Of course, and isn't that the essence of politics?
That is,
to,
politics is disgusting.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. To sound and look good to get elected.
And honestly, it makes you, as much as I would like to respect Obama, it makes you not respect him because he wants to be involved in this horrible industry.
I mean, anybody
Politics.
wants to be president is suspect, right?
Yes,
Like anybody
they should
is
be.
obviously a sociopath on some level
They
because you
should
think
be.
you should have this.
I kind of like Bill Clinton. I kind of like Obama.
Right.
They're
but,
both suspects.
But think about, yes, Bill Clinton, honestly, like
well,
a lot
Bill
of...
Clinton's now very suspect because he was involved with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
I mean, he was definitely on that plane at least 30 times. He was definitely...
and he's a guy who likes sex,
I'm
obviously.
just saying, no, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And the motherfucker just died, right? Like, that dude just died.
He died to save Bill Clinton.
I mean, people are saying he was suicided. Other people are saying it was suicide, as if
Bill
anybody
Clinton probably
really
put the
knows.
hit out on him.
Do you feel that it was? I mean,
I don't think it was Clinton. Trump might have.
listen, if
'Cause
anybody
Trump was implicated.
think of how many people had an interest in making sure he didn't talk.
The only ones I'm aware of are Trump and Clinton, but they have a big interest.
Oh no, it's a huge list of people.
I didn't see the list. Who else is on the list?
Like Prince Andrew, fucking Alan Dershowitz was
Yeah.
on there.
So those
fucking
guys,
like a lot
They
of people.
get about
dude.
50 million together and get him killed.
That's one thing. I mean, some people are saying no, he definitely committed suicide because this and this and that, and other people
And
are like he was definitely
with good
suicided.
reason. He
Right.
makes sense for him to commit
Right,
suicide.
right, right. So I think in the end, it's just like anything else. Like we'll never know. We'll actually never know. You know
Which
what I
is
mean?
why it's the perfect murder.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'll never know.
For God's sakes, the guy tried it last week. So quote unquote tried it last week, right? And now suddenly
I don't even know
like
the details really. So what did he do when he tried?
He was found. It said he was found on the floor crying, with marks around his neck. And then they said it was an attempted suicide, but it was reported by his cellmate, who was this gigantic.
Probably tried to kill him.
Possibly, people are saying, because his cellmate was an ex-cop, like a dirty cop, an ex-cop who was in there. And then they said that he had ties or something. Whatever, there's something shady going on there. So then he was put on suicide watch. And I don't know the details. Basically, they're saying, like, it could have been between shifts. It could have been between... it was unknown. So last night, whatever, in the morning, they found him fucking hanging.
Right.
They found him dead.
Right. I knew he was dead.
Yeah. So, but who the fuck knows, right? I mean, nobody. Yeah. I mean, I don't really. And a lot of people are just like convinced either way. But I feel like it's actually more unsettling to truly grasp the concept that we don't fucking know. We don't actually. It's totally possible that he was, and it's totally possible that he wasn't.
Right,
and we have no fucking idea. Even today, in this day and age, where like everything is transparent, we're supposed to know everything, but we don't fucking know shit.
Well, it's kind of fascinating, and it kind of doesn't matter at all.
Right. Well, think of it this way: you really think that dude was actually the leader, like the head vampire, and suddenly all the pedophile stuff's gone? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, there's so many other people involved.
He was just
even
like
if he was the head. There's so many other people beneath him.
Right. And honestly, I think he was just like a lieutenant or like a, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I don't think there's.
He was near the top, but
I don't think there's
top.
any real centralized pedophile ring. There's just many.
There's just a lot of people who like to fuck kids.
who have billions of dollars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who can do whatever they want because they have so much money.
But then this dude was actually taping him. That was the thing.
Oh, that was his mistake.
That was the thing. Well, that's why he got off the first time.
Right.
But then the second time, so that's what's really interesting. The first time he got off, they were like, all right, you can basically have pretty sweet deal. He didn't even go to jail, essentially. He was, he basically got to go home.
House arrest.
A form of house arrest.
Right,
he got to go to his home office every day for like 11 hours. Essentially, he had to sleep in jail.
Making billions of dollars.
Right, still making money and running doing the other thing he was accused of in New York. So he was trying to fuck little kids or not little kids, but
flying
like
them to New York.
Yeah, and they're calling it whatever, underage prostitution. But he was trying
trafficking.
to fuck teenage girls.
Yeah.
He was trying to fuck teenage girls.
He
and
was
then set up all
flying
that.
like 14-year-olds to his penthouse.
And then they found cameras all up in there too.
Right.
He
was having threesomes with his adult girlfriend and children.
What's her name? The enabler, the lady they can't find now. Yeah.
They can't find her?
Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell or something. That's her name. Yeah, they can't find her.
Huh.
She's gone.
He hit her.
Or she's dead, or she's escaped. She's off the grid. I mean, there's,
I feel like if she's off the grid successfully and alive, he did it. He's the one who got her to safety.
He's the one. Yeah.
He must be.
I mean, or at least I feel like you would have a protocol for something like. Listen, if I was
I've
a
seen the show
billionaire, if I was a billionaire
There's always a protocol.
pedophile enabler, I feel like I would have a backdoor protocol. The cops are coming, hit this
Go through this passageway.
Right, here's your fake
this
passport.
guy picks you up.
Yep,
you take this private plane.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, that's what fucking evil masterminds have. Like,
yes.
why wouldn't billionaire pedophiles?
Hedge fund operators are evil masterminds.
Exactly. And I think there's a lot of logistics involved. If you're gonna fucking fly people around, fucking videotape them, and have all this data, there's a lot of I think, there's people in place for you to just make a call.
They're the exact opposite of comics. Everything's planned way in advance.
I think if you really think about it, drug addicts and pedophiles are probably some of the hardest working people on the planet.
Hiding information.
Because you have to hide it, but do it all the time.
Yes.
It's insatiable. You have to keep
Bill
doing
Cosby.
it. Oh,
Close.
Rapist. Well, I mean, he was actually more of a rapist. Yeah, he was a rapist.
But he was hiding it.
Right. So I guess people in the closet are actually incredibly busy as well.
Yeah. I think that's why gay people are so happy.
The ones that come out?
They don't have to hide anything. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't you be, though?
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like that with weed. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, that's a lame thing, but you had to be closeted about weed, basically, and couldn't really. But, I mean, now it's silly to. You know what else? Republicans now. If you're a Republican in California, you have to be all like, but I hate the Republicans. And then you go in. Dude, I feel like I'm trying to work this out, but it's like, I know there's so many secret Republicans. There's so many secret Republicans all over, like in LA, especially LA, New York. Where they're like, they can't outwardly say how they feel, but inside they're like, man, fuck this. They'll vote for the other side just out of spite,
Well, but it also doesn't do anything in California.
No, of course not. Which is also part of like what is so absurd about the process. This whole idea that like you got their cities.
That you
got
have an
the
influence at all.
states.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there's only like 5 states you got to win.
I'm kind of surprised California is not more red. If you drive through California,
It is actually.
it's a bunch of red stuff, except
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
major
yeah.
cities.
That's why the Republican is usually governor. I mean,
Right.
the governor is usually Republican.
right.
Because if you
Go
go
to
out of the
Quebec,
cities,
California.
well, you fucking grew up in San Francisco.
Oh.
Dude, you go right out of fucking San Francisco, less than an hour. That's fucking red country right there.
Yeah.
They've always been Republicans, man.
You go to Santa Rosa, go to CVS.
Any of that shit, yeah.
Everybody's wearing camo. They're gonna go shoot.
Yes, exactly.
That's
like
California.
there's
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, the inland, the whole sort of like Stockton.
Oh, like
the
Mohave
fucking-
and all
yeah,
that shit.
all that shit.
Yeah, Stockton, Sacramento.
And definitely a lot of Mexican Republicans as well.
Yes.
Definitely
Everything
a lot of that.
inland is like biker gangs and people who own guns and.
I guarantee you there are right
Barstow.
now. Yes, in the middle of California, there are Republican Mexicans who vote for Trump and are like, yeah, we got to build that wall. They're like, you got to build that wall,
Yes.
dude. You got to build
Actually,
that wall. You know, like.
I had a meeting with an agent who, for some reason, kept on saying that he's like, I'm a gay Mexican Republican,
Uh-huh.
and he was playing Fox News.
Uh-huh.
It's a big media. It's a big agency where they probably don't love Republicans, and for some
Uh-huh.
reason, I think he got away with it because he's gay.
Uh-huh.
But first of all, why do you have to keep saying it?
It's like, I don't know. I guess because he's like trying to be punk. It's punk rock,
He's,
dude.
he's trying to be.
Do you
punk.
know what punk rock
That's
that
his
is right
version
now?
of punk rock.
That is punk
being
rock
a
right
gay
now.
Mexican Republican.
Yeah, dude, think about it.
He probably
Any
grew up rich though.
black conservatives right now are so dangerous. Think
Yes.
about what's dangerous
Yes.
right now.
No, they are.
Imagine could you even imagine going back even 10 years and
Yeah.
telling somebody, hey dude, one day you're gonna have like black Republicans on TV and people are gonna lose their shit. They're gonna be like the most dangerous thing you've ever seen in your entire life. You'd be like, what?
You wouldn't
Really?
believe it.
You wouldn't believe it. You'd be like, Republicans, really? Like, because that's lame. Like, Republicans are square. Like, what are you talking about? But like, I think what we're living through is like the liberals actually becoming the dominant culture, because it used to be the conservatives used to be the man and the culture, you know, but it's actually now the other way around. So I actually see a lot of fucking YouTube like kids, like 14-year-old kids and shit, just being
Republicans.
as Republican as fuck,
Huh.
just to piss off the adults.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is now.
I mean, we were talking about Milo. All the alt-right stuff is fascinating.
I don't actually even believe in an alt-right. I don't think it
doesn't
exists.
really exist.
I don't think it exists.
I just like people who are pushing buttons.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
really what
trolls.
it is.
A lot of it is trolls, and a lot of it. No, honestly, like, you know about that $1 Million Extreme shit? Oh, there was this dude, Sam Hyde, and a bunch of other dudes that came out with this sketch show.
Oh, yeah.
I
I do.
got canceled.
It was on
because-
Adult Swim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's this Tim Heidecker got real upset. Everybody got real upset about it because they were supposed to be alt-right. BuzzFeed said they were alt-right or whatever. So I was like, fuck it. This is
You watched
how.
it?
Yeah, I watched it because I was like, I'm curious. Like, what?
I watched some of it.
Yeah, I watched it, and I was like, it's okay. I mean, it's not
It
like
was funny. I thought it was funny.
it's fine. Yeah, there's some funny stuff, but
Yeah.
all it really is just basically just like white dude humor. You know what I mean? Just kind of like
Kind of insane white
yeah,
dude
just
humor.
a little like kind of acid
Edgy.
tinged, edgy.
Yeah.
Like
Not a big deal.
but nothing. It's like it's right on the line of racism, but not overt. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
essentially to me, it was almost like a live action Family Guy, because Family Guy
Yeah.
does.
But the thing is, once you involve real people,
Yeah, then
everybody
it's
freaks the
about-
fuck out.
But it wasn't just that. It was just that there were these like little hidden
I
messages.
think they said the N-word a
throughout.
lot.
They did. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, they did. But like,
It's
I
not a
mean,
huge deal. Shouldn't
to
be.
me, it's not. I mean, there was like some stuff you could say they were racist against this, or they beat the shit out of whatever. But it's just dudes. You know, just dudes humor.
Well, and it's not real.
Yes, it's comedy. The
Yeah.
whole point is that it is comedy and whatever. So I watched this and I'm like, I don't understand what's so dangerous. Like, I don't get the this is supposed to be right and that. And honestly, a lot of what it is like pretty traditional values. Like,
Yes.
what they want is like heterosexual normative. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's sort of what they're talking about. It's like, you know, get married. Like, women should have babies. You know, and it's just like, this isn't that shocking. I don't know. I don't get like.
Well, and it seems like they're also kind of satirizing that in and of itself.
Some
There's
of
no
it,
stone unturned. They're making
Right.
fun of everything.
Yes, they are making fun of everything. And who's to really fucking? I don't know what's in their minds. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. You don't-
people. That's the thing. Is like people project what's in people's hearts
Start-
and minds and shit when they don't.
They're trying to figure out the impetus of someone who's writing a sketch show.
Yeah, it's
Who
just some,
fucking knows?
It's just some guy trying to be funny.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. He's not
yeah.
Hitler. He's
Yeah.
writing a sketch show.
Well, that's the thing. Is like me. I'll always defend comedy no matter what. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Even if it's bad comedy,
So
because
it's like the Patrice O'Neill thing on
Right.
Fox.
Exactly.
If you're
where you-
trying to be the attempt, always defend the attempt.
That's they come from the same place, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's the whole thing. Like I don't know, and I think yeah, we're at a place where I think. Look, Trump's gonna win. Like, here's what I think he's definitely gonna win.
I do too.
And I think the reason why is because the opposition failed. They essentially spent 3 years. I don't know doing what. I'm not sure what they did.
Yeah, we got
but
nothing.
They got nothing. They got nothing. They got 20 people right now. That's all they got.
Well, I think it's Trump isn't even a fucking Republican.
I'm saying. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. It's like he should not be this hard to beat. Honestly,
Well,
I don't think
it's
he
hard
should
to beat, and we don't even really have a Republican president. We just have an insane celebrity president.
Yeah, we have a reality TV show
Yeah.
host. But that, in a way, here's what I think. I think the president is truly a reflection of the public.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think Trump is us just as much as Obama is us. You know what I'm saying?
course.
Like, that's
What do
two
we watch
sides.
on TV?
Yeah, it's two sides of the same coin. That they're both us. Just like Bush was us, Clinton was us. Like, they're
Right.
all us. It's all us. You know, like, and I think it's hilarious to think of like, oh, we're now in fascist times or whatever, but like back after 9/11, we lost all our rights. We gave up all our rights willingly. Nobody, and we weren't like, we're in fascist times now. You know what I mean? We were all lockstep, like, yeah, let's go to war, and we got revenge, and we don't. It's better to be safer than sorry, and like, you know, like the Patriot Act, the NSA spying out, and all that stuff came out through people breaking the law, essentially. People breaking the law, and they're all being prosecuted. Right? And that's the reason why we know that all our rights are being violated.
Right.
But nobody fucking cares, right? In the end, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares because we aren't actually suffering. We're actually not suffering. You know what I mean? Like, there's a
No, I mean,
like-
some comic went on stage and he said something about Trump, and he was like, has Trump affected, clap if Trump's affected your life. Nobody clapped.
Right.
And he goes, all right, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
It's to the news.
Yeah.
It's the news. It's literally the news where you get, you know, like, and I feel like what's happening is people can't even have conversations anymore.
There are discussions of him having this negative effect, and there are probably some policies being put in place that are not fantastic.
Right.
But almost every president does that.
Well, every president has blood on his hands.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. Trump is guilty of something. He's guilty of war crimes, right? We could actually get him for... Basically, right now, we're fighting a war in Yemen, and it's a genocide against the public. It's very super well documented that we're providing the weapons, and we're doing this. The thing is, if you go after Trump for this, you have to go after Obama, because it actually started under Obama.
Right.
So that's the reason why neither side ever prosecutes the other for war crimes, because they all do them. But that is something you could get him for. That is a crime. Like, you could get him for this, because he's basically, because he vetoed they were trying to stop the sales of the arms, and he vetoed it, and basically us and Saudi Arabia are buddies, basically, and we give them the weapons, and they and that's, nobody gives a fuck about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about Russia, it's all about this, but not a single word about like, oh yeah, we're actually committing a genocide with our weapons, our tax dollars, killing children, you know, right now, and we're like, and that's fine.
But you can't win, though.
Of course. But the thing is, it just exposes the hypocrisy where it's like, oh, if they're truly in opposition and want to get rid of this guy, they could. It just implicates themselves, so they can't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can't do that. There was a time, I read this thing about, they were about to impeach Bush, dude, after they found out that there were no WMDs. They were like this close to impeaching him, and Pelosi was like, nah, we're not going to do it. You know, we're just gonna. And then when Obama became president, he said, you know, let's look forward, everyone. Let's not dwell in the past. Like, so, you know what I mean? So that's basically them telling each other, look, we're not gonna put each other, when it comes to this war shit. Yeah, when it comes to this war shit, we got each other's backs. We're not gonna put each other in jail. So you do what you want. You know, you do what needs to be done. And I don't think none of them believe they're evil. None of them are like, yeah, we're killing. You know, all of them believe they're protecting freedom.
No, they're in denial. They think they want to help people.
Well, they're all protecting freedom.
And they're protecting freedom.
They're spreading freedom. They're protecting it. You know.
And it's not to say that they're not doing that, but they're also fucking things up in some regard.
Well, when you say they're doing that, it's just
they're helping some people.
Sure,
protecting some freedom.
I think it's like it just gets called into question when a lot of those contractors, they're all government contractors. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's all tied to the money everybody's making off of it. So then everything's suspect. You can't be like, yeah, the Americans, they come in and sure, they blow stuff up, but they build stuff too. That's a hilarious thing to be saying about somebody. Yeah, they fuck shit up, but they'll build cool stuff too. And then,
but it's the truth. That's what they do.
On the other hand, the fucking Chinese, they're going around and they're just building stuff.
Right.
They're just going. They're not blowing anything up. And they're just going fucking building stuff. So when push comes to shove, around the world, people are going to be like, well, who do we trust in the end, right? Like the fuckers that blow everything. But the fuckers who are building things. Yeah.
Chinese, they're not violent at all.
I'd say they are, sure. I mean, who isn't?
I mean, I don't know. I have no idea.
I think yes.
I know they're building. I know.
I would say like the Chinese, their foreign policy overall, besides if you're like if you border with China, you got to bow down. And if they decide, no, dude, you are China, there's not a lot, not a lot your country can do.
So they're threatening violence potentially.
So they could, yes.
Yeah,
if you fuck with them, they will. They will fuck you up. But
who's gonna fuck with China?
Exactly. So they don't go around the world going like, we're gonna fuck you guys up if you don't do this, if you don't. That's actually never been their style historically. So even back in the day when
it's a better
China,
system.
Yeah, when China was big, they had, instead of a colonial system, they called it a tribute system, where they fucking just come to your country and kind of like show off, and then get you to admit that they're badass, and then they give you gifts. Then they give you shit from China. They'll give you like silk and silver and tea and shit. They'll be like, here's some shit from China. Now we're going to come back next year and we'd like, in exchange, we'd like some of these goods and we'll give you this shit. You know, so they create a system of trade essentially. But essentially you have to acknowledge that they are the best, and if another country came and they had trouble with, you know what I mean? I'm sure you had to kind of bow down to whatever they wanted. But in the end, it wasn't like they didn't build a military presence around the world.
Because they never had to.
Well, because they didn't want it. Yeah.
Right.
That was the thing about the Chinese, is they were so kind of, really full of themselves that they didn't want to extract resources from other people. Like, they just felt like they had everything. But
that's actually kind of generous, too, because they could just take it.
Well, yeah, they could have taken it. Yeah, exactly. They could have. And so, I study a lot of shit in college. So what's really interesting is they have these people in East Africa who, they have this record of them talking about, so the Chinese actually came to East Africa like a little bit before the Portuguese came and enslaved a bunch of people. So they were like, there's like this, I remember reading this record of like, they were like, well, when the first white people came, they brought gifts. And we didn't think that they were here to like enslave us or anything. You know, we didn't know. But then when the second white people came, we thought they were like the same dudes. And then next thing you know, they're fucking capturing us, killing us and capturing us. So it was like a really big different, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the difference between the European and the Chinese way of doing stuff. But it's really because the Chinese back then were super rich. Like they were just, they had it all. And they were just, you know.
Yeah, the pacifists, just because they never really had to be violent.
They didn't need to because they had the numbers. They had
to.
It wasn't until, they just got, the Chinese history is really interesting because a lot of times they just get fucked up by a foreign power, and then the foreign power comes in, becomes the emperor, but then they just kind of become Chinese. Like, so the Mongols did that, the Manchurians did that. They just kind of come over, take over,
but then they assimilate.
Come to head. Yeah, but then they just kind of become Chinese. There's assimilate because it's like the culture is so...
That's interesting.
There's like, you can't escape it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't... It's like American culture. Like, you just kind of become American if you're here, you know?
Totally.
You can't escape it. So anyways, that's the kind of shit that we're dealing with. Like, that's our competition, essentially, is...
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of motherfuckers who...
I was just talking about this with someone. They're building everywhere.
Yeah, Africa, all the poor countries, everywhere they
Nigeria.
can get in, they're fucking building.
Yeah.
Because and one of the things they do that's really interesting is instead of basically like one of the things Europe does, like the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, you know, so that's America and Europe. They'll go into a poor country and be like, oh, you need a port? We're going to lend you money for this port. So you lend you money, they build the port, and then usually what happens is they don't do so well. The port doesn't do so, you know what I mean? Because maybe the projections were off or whatever the fuck. So then what the IMF does is now, oh shit, you defaulted on this loan. Now your country is basically has to pay back this loan we're basically going to extract like your tax base. You know what I mean? You're going to pay this back. The way you're going to pay it back is we're going to take the money from you. And that's why all those countries have to start doing austerity measures, like cutting all their benefits and shit like that, because they have to start paying off shit, right? Like, so the IMF does that. That's what the West does. But what the Chinese does is they'll come in, they build the port, but they get an agreement that basically says, all right, if you can't pay off the loan, we take over the port. So instead of you owing us money, we try to pull money out. What we do is we actually now operate the port. We own the port, we operate it, and we get it up to speed.
That kind of seems like a no-brainer.
Right. I mean, it's pretty smart. If you think about it,
it's a better situation, and then you guarantee that you get paid
Well, yeah,
in some way.
the shit's gonna get better because it's in everybody's interest for the port to actually work. And
if it doesn't, they'll make it better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The whole
Yeah.
point is that they're invested now in making the instead of blowing the place
wanna
up.
help.
Yeah, instead of because I think if you think about the other way, the Western way, which are basically telling the country is like, all right, rich people, you got to extract all the wealth from your country as much as possible. That means the poor are going to suffer. Essentially, the poor are going to suffer because the rich are going to stay rich.
Right.
But we got to get paid. You know, contrast that with like, all right, we're just going to come in and just fucking run this shit and make sure
It'll
we
be
get
a
our
better
money.
system,
Yeah,
and
we're
we'll
going to
get
make sure
money,
we get our
everybody else
money.
will get money.
And sure, obviously your politics are going to be influenced. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're going to influence your country and your elections and all that. But look, we're not. You know, we're fucking making money.
That's interesting.
We're trying to make money, right? Like,
and in some ways, the country will be happy.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
in the end, people will prefer getting stuff than getting blown up.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's like you offer those two.
Sure.
What would you rather have? You know, would you rather have? Because I think now, what'll be interesting is how the Chinese start dealing with shit like freedom and rights and stuff like that because they can't. That's unstoppable. Like with the internet and all that. You know, they can't
Right.
stop people from wanting to be free. But the Chinese. I've been to China, man. I'm not Chinese, but I don't really care.
What's your background? Korean?
Yeah, Korean. My
Okay.
family came from Korea, and but I went to China to work on a movie, like I edited a movie.
Uh-huh.
So I was there for like 2 months in Shanghai, and then like the outskirts. And one of the things I fucking realized was like, first of all, these motherfuckers have no idea. They don't give a fuck about things we care about.
Like
You know,
what?
Like Americans. Like what does America care about? We care about like Kardashians. We care about the fucking
Pop culture. They don't care.
Pop culture. They don't give a fuck about. They have their own. They don't care about American shit.
Right.
What they do care about though is like very family oriented. They care about
Well,
sort
it's
of like
a collectivist society
Sure. Yeah. it is.
relative to America.
Yes, and I would say that the family is still pretty strong as opposed to
Right.
here.
Yeah, in America, if it's like
Families
fuck my
eroded.
dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
No,
like
because
everybody's
they're on
divorced.
their own.
Yeah.
Individuals.
Everybody's divorced. Everybody's
Want to be a star.
and there's no value anymore in staying with the family. You know, it's like my dad just ran off with fucking young woman, dude.
Really?
Fucking, yeah. It's like
How old is he now?
70.
Oh my God.
Ran off with someone younger than me.
Where does he
Fucking-
live?
I don't know. Dallas, I think. He just fucking. He didn't tell me. He just fucking split with
Where
him.
were
He
you, where
left
were you
town.
born?
Where was I born?
Yeah.
D.C., but he was here. I grew up here, and he was here. But
You
then-
grew up in L.A.?
Yeah, I grew up in
Okay.
L.A. Yeah, but he split L.A. Supposedly went to Dallas. At least that's what my stepmom told me. He went to Dallas, but you know what I'm saying? But that's the
Jesus.
boomers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the boomers don't give a fuck.
No,
They do not care about family at all.
100% selfish.
Yeah, I think the
And then if their millennial kid is fucking up, they're like, "What's wrong with my kid?"
Oh, yeah, well, when I was your age,
Yeah.
I was like, dude, when you were my age, you could go to college on a part-time job. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Things were
Like,
pretty. Where things were different.
Things are way different. Yeah, things are a little bit.
Not to say that I'm not fucking up,
Yeah, and not to say I don't have it sweet right now. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
it's
This
good
is pretty
now.
sweet. It's
but
pretty
they had
sweet.
it really
But
good.
my dad was like a homeowner by the time he was.
Yeah.
And my dad fucked up too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
My dad wasn't like some. You know,
All the boomers fucked up.
Dude, they were all fucked up. They were
Hippies.
all hedonists. They're
Yeah.
all hedonists. They're essentially just want
Doing
pleasure.
acid and shit.
They want to do whatever they want.
Yeah, and we still do that, but it's just not as easy to do it.
Well, we get the guilt of understanding that we're all going to die
Yeah.
either because of the climate
Yeah,
or because
yeah,
of
yeah.
some reason it's all going to collapse.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
us. Like they don't.
Yeah,
they think it's just
No,
going to
that's
keep
true.
going.
We're all nihilist hedonists.
Right. The boomers, it's like it's this forever. It's
Yeah,
infinite
yeah,
growth.
yeah.
Infinite
Because
growth.
till they die, it is.
Yeah, and those are the people who are going to get the life extension technology.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
totally.
When the
Just in
nanobots
time.
come, yep, they're going to become 300
Yeah,
years
they
old.
have the Ted Williams heads.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
Our parents are going to live to be like 300. And they're going to come to our funerals. And be like, man, I told them to invest in fucking. Yeah,
We're not going to be able to use the technology?
I don't think we'll have the money.
Oh, but
honestly.
yeah, that's
I don't think
interesting.
we'll have access to
They have the
healthcare.
money.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they have all the money.
Yeah.
And that's because they have all the money, it'll all be catered toward them. All the health will be catered toward life extension, old people shit, you know?
I mean, that's happening right now.
Yeah, it's already happening,
Yeah.
so I don't
Smaller
see...
scale.
I don't see why it wouldn't happen 5 years from now. That's
Well,
just...
the technology is only going to get better. Yeah.
And people are only going to get richer.
Yes.
I don't see this disparity of wealth thing solving itself anytime soon in the next 4 years, honestly. I don't see
No,
that.
no.
It's not going to happen for a bit.
It'll get worse and worse and
until
worse.
it collapses. I mean, it's heading towards a conflict because clearly neither side is willing to let off the release valve and do something that would like either forgive loans or fucking UBI, like anything that would inject cash into the population.
Right.
They would rather see everybody just tumble and fall.
Like the Andrew Yang thing. What do you think about that?
See, honestly,
$1,000
like
a month.
listen, anything would help most people.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like I heard some crazy fucking statistic. Something like 80% of people live check to check in this country. Like they literally, if your one check doesn't come in, you're fucked.
It's like
that's the difference between
a $500 emergency would kill 30% of people or something.
you'd be homeless.
Yeah.
How many people would be homeless just from one bad thing happening? Like tons. You know what I'm saying? Like one
Tons.
emergency
Most of the
medical.
population.
Most everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that $1,000 would actually do something. You know,
Yes.
like I think it would actually do something. I don't know if that's actually the answer. I don't know, but fucking, I'm assuming that motherfuckers who've worked this out and are smarter than I am
Yeah.
are figuring this stuff out. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But I understand that it's a plan.
I mean, it sounds good to me.
It seems like a better answer than nothing, because that seems to be the other
Yes,
answer. Is
exactly.
like, what's your answer to automation? You know, nothing. I don't know, nothing. There's no answer. There's
Right.
The only answer is that America will succeed. America is a great country, and we'll work our way out.
I don't even get the sense of that right now.
I mean, that's really.
Americans seem like they kind of hate America right now.
Oh, they definitely do. But this is what
Or at
I
least
think.
these are like liberal fucking,
No,
LA people.
Here's the thing. I think we've been at war for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? The last time we were at war for a long period of time, that was Nam, right? For fucking Vietnam, right? And Vietnam, something like 63 to 75. It was like 12 years.
Hmm?
And look at how fucked up we got from Nam. Just from Nam culturally.
See him on the sidewalk.
Dude, look at the
You can see it
people.
right
Yeah,
now.
You can literally still see it, how the fucking chaos. But not only that, Oliver Stone's entire career. You know what I mean? Just think of the things that have come out of Nam and how
No,
fucked
Nam
up.
fucked us up.
Yeah, it really fucked us up. We've been at war almost twice as long, dude. Like almost twice as long, and we are acting like we're okay.
Right.
Like the country is overall acting like, I think we're completely fucked up. We're like completely fucked up as a country because we're not dealing with the fact that it's actually the inherent contradiction of America is that we're sociopathic murderers who are also freedom-loving people, freedom-loving, fun-loving people. We're actually quite entertaining,
Fun-loving
and
sociopaths.
fun-loving, but sociopathic murderers. Yeah, at the same time.
Right.
And I feel like we're still not. 9/11 to me was a time to rectify that. Like right after 9/11, I think as a country we could have been like, all right, what exactly are we doing around the world? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what? But instead, we doubled down the other way, and we're like, we're fighting terror, y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
They hate us for our freedom. We're fighting, and everybody was on board. The news was on board. The so-called liberal media, like everybody who's supposedly liberal now, they were all on board.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
We went to war in Iraq for just for revenge, for spite. That is,
Yeah.
if you really think about the real reason, we were pissed off. It could have been any country.
It's 100% misguided.
It could have been
obviously.
like, dude, it's Iran instead. We're going there. Like, we didn't give a fuck.
Sure.
We seriously, and I think we're still dealing with the repercussions of that in real life, but we're also dealing with it as a culture, like psychically, as people. That's why I think we're such a victim. That's why victims are put on such a pedestal. You know what I mean? That's why because we're actually perpetrators.
Right.
Americans are actually causing victims, but we actually glorify victimhood and say that we're the victims.
Very interesting. Well, it's like the Louis C.K. thing. He talked about how great women are. And I don't think he did anything horrible, but he felt guilty about
the jerking off in
Yeah,
front of it?
I think he felt guilty.
Yeah.
And his whole act in the 2010s was pro women.
Oh, dude, I've been watching Horace and Pete. You ever see Horace and Pete?
It's great.
Watch it now, knowing what's going. There's so much sexual deviancy in Horace and Pete.
In all of his work.
But of course, in all of it. But like, you can see he's working. He's fucking
working it out.
obviously working.
Well, and it made some great art.
Yes.
He's a great comic
because that's
of
where
it.
great art comes from.
Yeah.
And the thing.
Guilt.
Well, and so the whole thing is
Strife.
like, or the contradiction, right? Of being a human being.
Well, working out a contradiction in your head.
Exactly.
If you have the skill set of a great comic, which he did.
Right.
That's fascinating.
And the whole idea that like Judd Apatow or like people are like, oh, he's a hack now, or he's right?
Shut the fuck up. I fucking hate Judd Apatow. All his fucking dippy stoner bullshit movies. I'll find the biggest loser on the planet and make him famous for no reason.
And it's still not me. It's still, it's like, I'm not the funny one
the thing
here.
is, I'm not
It's
even
like,
enough of a fucking loser to be.
Well, he's teaching a master class on comedy, so I think that,
he's
got
so
the
full of
credentials.
shit, it's unbelievable. I can't wait until they find out that he did something wrong, because he's done something.
You think he's going to get MeToo'd? You think it's going to
It
happen?
would be great if it happened. It would be a nice turn of events.
All right, you heard it here first, guys. Judd Apatow.
The thing is, everybody's done something wrong.
Right.
All of a sudden, he's like Mr. Justice.
Well, that's the thing. everybody, literally every single person, you could find dirt on them if you wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like
a white male in Hollywood.
I mean,
Judd Apatow.
Yeah, of course,
Of course,
But anybody.
but
I'm just saying,
everybody,
literally anybody. You
everybody.
could go through everything they've ever
Everybody.
done and put a case together, a compelling
Yes.
case. Like you go through all my shit.
Right.
All the porn I've
Right.
looked at, everything I've ever said and
Yes.
put together, whatever you want. I could be a child rapist. I could be a murderer.
Right.
I could be a terrorist. Like whatever you wanted to put together, you could probably
Macaulay
do that.
Culkin was probably raping kids when he was a kid.
You think that's how you actually become a child actor? Is to you have to rape
To
another
rape
child?
kids.
You have to actually rape, steal the innocence of another child in order to. I would.
He was busting soft spots and drinking brains.
Dude, my whole thing is like I think we should honestly abolish child acting. I do.
No, we should.
I don't under. There's
Be all
literally.
midgets.
Whatever. Just CGI the motherfuckers. I don't
Yeah,
give a
sure.
fuck.
These
Like,
days you could do
there's
that
there's no reason for a child to act except for for
making the parents money.
Yeah, making the parents money.
Yeah.
Or for pedophiles
You make
to get
your
off.
shitty mom a millionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in some ways that's also child abuse. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh.
really just the whole thing is just to abuse the child.
It's actually child abuse.
It's child abuse. Even if you're not fucking
There's
the
a
kid.
13-year-old who does stand-up in L.A.
Oh, I've seen her. You're
Yeah.
the girl, right? Yeah, I've seen her.
It's child abuse.
I actually bring that up all the time
Yeah.
whenever I see her.
And actually, I don't think she's bad. She'll probably end
No.
up being pretty good.
Yeah.
It's still child abuse.
Dude, let her be a kid.
Maybe she wants to do it. Make her wait until she's done with high school.
I completely understand if like a kid wants to do something,
The thing
the
is-
dream, but like
Even starting at 13, I'd have a better, I'd feel better about. She started at like 8 or something.
that's right.
That's
I have
child
no
abuse.
idea. And that's really when you get into that whole like the trans thing too. You know what Mario Lopez got into trouble about?
Well, I
he said
think that this girl thinks that she's a lesbian or thinks she's something else.
Oh yeah, she says she's gay and she says she's already got it figured out.
At that age,
and,
you don't know.
and her dad is there the whole time.
Yeah.
I've actually watched her
Well,
dad.
and he's all strung out. He's got no money.
I've watched that dude. Like when she nails a joke, he
Yeah.
goes, "Yes."
He's out
Dude,
of his mind.
I've watched him, dude, and that's when I knew.
It's
I was
really
like,
creepy.
"Aw,
He's just trying to make
dude,
money off of
this
her.
poor kid.
I know. I saw him and his daughter with another comic who's on food stamps at Ralph's, and he was buying them food because he can't use all his food stamp money. They're just desolate. They need her to be famous.
Oh my God,
It's really sad.
that's very sad. But multiply that by like tens of thousands in the city. In this city alone, there's imagine. that's
Haley Joel Osment. That's all
all these kids. Yeah, all these fucking kids. Like, and for what? And then, well, now we're back to Epstein. I mean, it's just like it's literally a factory of abuse, even if it's for
On
entertainment.
every level.
Yeah, and the best you get out of it is entertainment.
That being said, Judd Apatow is implicated in something.
You think so? You're pretty sure.
How could he not be?
I don't know. I mean,
How do you avoid it?
I'm either way.
If anybody wants to get you, they can get you.
He's right behind it. We're on the set of his movie right now, bro. That would be hilarious. They're coming over. I'm sorry, we have to ask you to leave now.
Being a white knight is not a good idea. Because they're going to
it's gonna
find
come
you
right
and get
back-
you for
it's gonna
something.
come back on you.
Yeah.
Well, pointing the finger.
Why do it?
You ever hear the saying like "You are the very thing you accuse other people of"?
Yeah.
You know that thing?
Well, that's the Louis thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Women are so great. Men are a danger to women.
Right.
He was a danger to women.
Okay, well, let's go into. We're gonna wrap up soon, but here's the okay. Here we go. We're going in there. Did he do? Do you feel like?
Oh, this is just Louis?
Because I'm trying to
I'm
figure
like
out.
the biggest Louis fan.
Look, okay. I'm not like for instance.
I love Louis.
I'll say he's by far one of the best stand-up comedians
Ever.
right now. Top
His TV show
top
was
three. Top three probably right now.
Yeah.
Like living right now. Like
Yeah.
right now. Top 3, top 5, whatever.
Yeah.
Great.
Tim, Dave Chappelle, a couple other guys.
Yeah. Like in terms of like that pantheon of
Yes.
like this man
Just
is
quality
this is a
comedy.
great comedian.
Like the equivalent of Richard Pryor and
exactly.
George Carlin
in
a while
there
ago.
while
Yeah.
they were alive.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
were still making
Yeah.
shit. That's one of the dudes.
Yeah.
So I'll go there with you.
Okay. But
Judd, from all the shit that he did, was it actually dangerous? Do you think that it
what are you doing?
I know that it's like always
was what
stupid.
he did dangerous
Yeah.
to anyone? I
It's
don't
always
think
stupid when there's like two dudes talking about this,
I
but like,
know.
but I'm trying to.
The thing is-
I'm not even arguing right or wrong here. I'm trying to figure out what it is he actually did.
Here, so yeah. So wrong, sure, probably wrong.
Like, so what did he?
But actual physical danger?
Did he? Is it from what I've heard? It's literally like, hey, is it okay if I jerk off? And a lot of them were
Well,
like,
he's a weird dude. He always asked for consent.
right. And a lot of them were like, yeah, but maybe didn't feel like they could say no, is what a lot of them
Right.
are saying. And then he did. And then later on, he learned that they weren't comfortable with it. And then he felt real bad about it. And like that seems to be the pattern,
I think it's
like.
the kind of shit that's going on all over the place and
Right.
has been going on But just famous people aren't the ones doing it.
But do you feel like we can start actually? Do you think it's splitting hairs, or do you think there really is like a difference? We should be making these differences between like a dude who asks women if they can jerk off in front of him versus like like a rapist. Somebody full
there
on.
should be a huge difference.
Yeah, there's yeah.
He should not be in the same conversation as Bill Cosby.
So I feel like that's the weird thing is that everything gets lumped together, and then there's no nuance in the conversation where you're like, see, Louis C.K. and Bill Cosby, they like group them together. Yeah, they group them.
He should not have been in that article. There shouldn't have been a New York Times article about him. I don't think it's that big a deal.
I don't think he's
it's the timing.
Dangerous, but I
he's
know
not dangerous.
It's because I'm also a dude, and I feel like. But I've also heard women talk about this, like usually older women, where they're just like, they just be like, put your dick away, Louis.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like,
where like people who are a little more mature about sex, I think.
Yeah.
But I also saw at the I saw the chick. He did it on the phone. Did you see? Were you there?
I don't know if I was there when you were there, but she used to go all the time.
I saw her, and I was listening to what she was saying. And I was like, okay. I mean, okay, I get it from your. But even she wasn't.
What was her story?
She was the one who was on the phone, and he jerked off on the phone, and she said she couldn't get off the phone. She felt like she couldn't get off the phone because it's Louis and like whatever. And so when she was she was actually mad about Dave Chappelle saying that she had a brittle spirit,
right,
or whatever. So what she was really saying was that like
I haven't seen her at recently, so maybe she does have a brittle spirit.
Oh, dude, that's my whole point was that I saw her doing stand-up, and it's like, see, she does it. She's fucking still out there, which she should be.
I haven't seen her that much lately.
Fuck, I
think she's around, and she's very nice.
I think she was very nice. I don't know. Somebody was fucking telling a woman, she was saying, yeah, but, Louis then went to his manager and made sure that these people weren't booked or whatever. But it's like, I don't know. Is that true? Like, I don't know that.
I have trouble believing that.
Yeah, I don't know that. But then that's the story, I guess, to make it all fit, to make it all fit like into this power story that it's a man, powerful man. But like,
from what I've heard, when Louis was doing this stuff, he wasn't powerful. He didn't have the manager that he has now.
Dude, I came up in New York, and it was just well known before he even hit it big, like before he even had Louis, the show, that he was fucking degenerate, that he fucking jerked off.
He was a fucked up guy.
That it was a sexual thing, but it was never rapist. It was just more creepy. It was more, he was a creepy, dirty guy. Creepy, pervy guy.
What's his comedic voice?
He's a creepy pervy
dirty guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's a creepy pervy. It just doesn't seem like it's disingenuous.
It's not Bill Cosby, and it's not disingenuous.
It's just, and if anything, he's the first person I ever saw tell me that Trump was going to be Hitler. Like, he sent me that email.
Exactly.
Told me that Trump was
exactly.
So I don't think he's a Republican.
I think in a lot of regards, he has everybody's best interest in mind. He always did. And he's a weird dude.
He's just a fucking comic, man.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking
comics are all fucked up.
Comics need to get up. They need to get up and work it out. And I think they should just... Anyway, I feel like...
They should let him go on stage. He's overseas, though, right now, I think.
I think it's for the best.
Yeah.
I think he's just got to kind of... Honestly, I think what's going to happen is...
he's got a French girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be Trump 2. There's going to be initial hysteria, like Trump 1. But this time, it's not going to go over the same. People are going to get tired. People are tired already. You know what I'm saying? People are tired already, so the other side is going to either become extremist and do something entirely crazy that pushes everybody away.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, there's some chance that they might just break apart. Like the Democratic Party actually kind of starts breaking apart, and where the fucking... Because it's really a fight between the progressives and the centrists, right? It's really a fight between the business fuckers and the guys who want to give health care to everybody and want to give... that's really what it comes down to. And I think,
Well, it's Yang and Bernie.
And the thing that's interesting is that if you think about the people who actually want healthcare and shit, that's both sides of the fringe.
Yes.
That's both sides, or the fringe is not even correct, man. It's poor. It's the poor on both sides. Because I feel, to me, both the centrist Democrats and Republicans, they're like the party of the banks and the rich. They're the party of the rich.
Right.
Both sides.
Right.
There's not like one side is like, I'm for the people. Both sides are saying they're for the people and they're for the rich.
Right.
So therefore, they're got to be for the rich. I mean, what I'm saying? If you tell people you're for the rich and for the people, you gotta be for the rich. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's...
Well, it's what we started with. Everybody's fucking lying.
Yeah, they're all liars trying to get rich.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's all it is. Even in entertainment. You know what I mean?
Oh, completely.
I can't guarantee that I would have any kind of integrity if I was offered a shitload of money to do something. You know what I'm saying?
I
cannot right here be like, no, I would never debase myself today, dude. How much? I would just be like, let's start negotiating. Yeah, let's start negotiating.
Dump a bunch of slime on me on Nickelodeon. Of course, I would do that.
That's the least of your worries. I mean, we're talking cum. We're talking. We're at that minimum.
that too. Fuck kids.
Who knows what I would do? At the bottom, we gotta tape you
for millions.
We gotta get you in an Epstein room, fucking a kid, and then from there we get the next level. You know,
it's obviously wrong.
Hey, no one's saying it's right.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't wrong, would it be fun?
But out of desperation,
would it
out
feel
of
so
desperation,
good?
would you do it? Who knows?
Desperation? Not even desperation. Just for acknowledgement, just for just a little bit of,
a career.
That's all we want as comedians, right? We just want just some, just positive regard. We just want attention. That's all. Just imagine you were getting that ad money. You'd be like,
exactly.
Fuck it, But dude, so tell me about where people can find you online. You have a couple podcasts out there.
Couple podcasts.
Yeah.
Ben_Herwitz at Instagram.
So Ben_Herwitz at Instagram.com.
It's like a robot.
You heard that here first.
Yeah. You
can follow him on Instagram.
Gmail me.
Herwitz. HERWITZ. Yeah.
I don't really use it, but you can find me there.
He doesn't use Instagram, don't he? Yeah.
I don't. I post show posters.
Do you have a podcast?
Yeah, 2 podcasts.
You have 2 podcasts.
Alienate the Audience.
Uh-huh.
And Hating on Everything, both on iTunes.
Alienate the Audience. Hating on everything.
It's a theme.
It's a good, also good 3-word podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
3-word podcast, solid.
Right amount of syllables.
Yes, right amount. It's a mouthful, but not too much.
Not too
right
much.
Falls right off the tongue.
Yeah.
Just, Alienate the Audience is a sort of, it's a little edgier.
It's pretty subversive.
On the edgy side, a little bit of not for, if you get offended easily. Trigger, sure. Trigger warnings for that. And then the other one.
Come on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm coming on there, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's the one I want to be. I wouldn't want to listen to it. What do you do on the other one? You listen to another person's podcast and talk about it?
Yeah, we listen to other podcasts and we make fun of them. We did Amy Schumer's podcast.
Is it like
today.
shitting? Do you just literally just shit all over it?
Just call her joke thief. Just say insane stuff.
Do you think she is?
I keep saying that Dr. Phil's a pedophile in every
hilarious.
episode.
That's good. You're well on your way. I too am trying to get deplatformed as fast as possible. That's the way your ticket to fame nowadays, man.
I think it is.
It really is. Fuck this. The industry's dead. The industry's dead. The traditional gatekeepers are gone. The club system. Club system's over. Yeah. What you need to be is hated. Hated by a troll. That's how you become president.
Yeah.
That's the blueprint. Look, Trump has given us all the blueprint.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
you're right.
Yeah, you just attack everyone, get them all mad at you, and then you just get tons of followers.
And there are people like Tim Dillon, who
bless him.
He's kind of attacking people, he's getting mainstream success.
Mainstream,
and he's great.
Quote unquote, because
quote unquote. Like what does it even mean anymore?
Comedy success. I mean, essentially all he's doing is
Netflix.
doing what he wants. He's being a maniac.
Doing whatever he wants.
He's being a maniac, and that's.
And as long as it's funny, nobody cares.
In the end, I think people still love comedy. Even though you got your Hannah Gadsby sort of post-comedy bullshit. I think all of that is people who
Norm
aren't
Macdonald
funny.
did the funniest bit about that. Did I tell you about that?
No. What?
I saw him in Brea, and he goes, back when I started comedy, you had to be funny. And now, you just go on stage, you fucking do some stuff in the last 30 minutes. You just talk about how you got raped with a broomstick.
It's true. That's comedy.
Hilarious.
It's a comedy.
And kind of right.
Comedy is basically kind of telling jokes and then blaming the audience for laughing at those jokes for being evil.
Well, that's, whatever. Social justice comedy, alternative comedy.
Right.
Whatever you want to call it.
And I think that always is cyclical. It has its time and goes away, because that's just, it's kind of
all
the
movements.
faddish. Yeah, it's...
No, the really good stuff seems to stick around.
Because it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's in the vein of political comedy, the good stuff will stay around. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Comedy will always be comedy. I'm sure we've basically settled this for everybody out there. All the people wondering. Comedy need to be settled. Anything else? So you got your 2 podcasts, any other shows, anything else you want to promote?
I'm doing the Comedy Palace. Sweet. August 30th. I don't know when you're putting this out.
Before that. So cool. August 30th, Comedy Palace in San Diego, right?
Out. Yeah, in San
Comedy
Diego.
Palace, San Diego. Maybe by then, this will come out maybe a week or 2. Maybe if you have a posting or whatever, I'll link to it. But
cool.
Anyways, thanks, dude, for coming on.
Really appreciate it, man.
Great talking to you.
Yeah.
All right, man.